I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of man down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events, hosted by the I.S.U.P.K. and Commanding General Yahanna. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the I.S.U.P.K. is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which would lead to the scripture breakdown class with General GEN.YAHANNA. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General GEN.YAHANNA has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General GEN.YAHANNA on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that will destroy him and will destroy him. Real soon. Read.
That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer.
You hear that? They was of good cheer. Came along with the Lord as one. And became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord will put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General GEN.YAHANNA has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.
Hey, y'all was just like a thumb. How come y'all can't unmute yourselves?
Oh yeah, I just unmuted mine. Shalom, Mishkata.
Sako, what's going on with you on Tazi back here over there with them armbands and shit? We gonna try?
And so this is a little Passover preparation. We going to get all Passover.
2 weeks before Passover. Listen, man. If you listen, I might have to take them arms with the armband. Y'all tempting me. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I see y'all come to play. Y'all come to play. I feel you.
What's
No sweat. What's going on? What's going on West Coast?
What's going on, sir?
What's going on? Wow, y'all got some palm trees and some Cadillacs behind you. Yeah, man, I got some palm trees. Man, yeah. So we're looking like you was able to check out some of those stories.
Yeah.
Alright, great. Yeah, my name's who have the audience? That's your live audience?
Shalom comes a lot.
You have to go in the booth, you have to go in the booth. You have to go in the booth for that. You know what I mean? Just let them know, you know, what any kind of noise they make is gonna pick up. So it's the wild because they go around and rock with you. But any kind of noise is gonna pick up for sure. But it's good, definitely good to have you all down there. You know what I mean? I see y'all was at camp today. Saturday?
Yeah, kind of because Memphis and Mississippi came together. We went out to camp down here in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Brother spoke real powerful. You know, a lot of people down here really want to hear what the men of the Lord got to say concerning, you know, the Third World War. You know, gas prices is going up. These jobs is getting back to normal, so they really laying people off. And it's really Esau trying to get back to his usual oppression. So now is the time we come out there and speak the things that we say, and people really taking heed. And so we're definitely picking up a lot of traction down here in Memphis, Mississippi, Arkansas, this whole Mid-South area. A lot of people start to gravitate towards what we're saying. So, you know, the time the Lord been saying is coming, man. Just hope brothers and sisters wake up and come on into the truth and get themselves together.
All right. That's right. Christ, where y'all say y'all went today? Mississippi?
No, we was in Memphis. We went to camp in Memphis today. So we got us a little spot that we've been hitting, but I'm looking forward to, Lord allow, in a few weeks we're gonna be able to take Beale Street. You know what I'm saying? Beale Street is a major thoroughfare here in Memphis, but it's an area that's predominantly the traffic is there in the evening towards the nighttime. So we had to build the manpower over here to go take it, but Lord allow, we get to take it. It's gonna be glorious. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all with them 2 armbands alone. I already know what's going on. Beale Street at night camp. Niggas gonna be on hoverboards and shit. You know with the lead and then go forward. The Segway. Bro's gonna be on the Segway on the podium and stuff. Yeah, that's too wild. That's too wild, man. That's too wild. Listen, I know down there wherever that Beale Street is, y'all gonna get your full share of the transparency. It's what I call it now. The trans supremacy conspiracy. It's gonna be wild as hell. You know what I mean? And I thought, where you at? You down there? You down in North Carolina?
Yeah.
You went out your big out today?
Yeah, and two spots.
Spots.
Yeah, it was good.
Let them people know where we at.
On the corner, Northern Tryon, and South Bland and Eastern Martin in Raleigh.
In Raleigh
and Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen,
this corner.
if you're down in North Carolina and Charlotte, you'll know where to stop on by. You know what I mean? You'll make sure you'll know where to stop on by and check out, you know what I mean? Check out real pressure. You know what I mean? Check out real pressure coming through. I'm trying to get some of them camps of Salakia. It gave me a little stress and all the stuff. You know what I mean? You'll check them out. You know what I mean? Charlotte, North Carolina. You'll check them out. You know what I mean? I know Quam and them just moving every which way they want to on the West Coast. I see y'all interrupting everybody on Saxon, Fifth Ave. y'all interrupting Rodeo. Y'all doing one all over the goddamn place.
Yeah. From San Francisco all the way down to Los Angeles, his own. All the way to the capital, Sacramento, Oakland, downtown Los Angeles. Where we gotta be at, we're gonna be there.
Listen, I need a beat behind how he just run that shit down. I had a beat behind how he just run that shit down there. He run that shit down real smooth, like the announcements at the after party. You know what I mean? I think this your whole zone right there now, rocking up this. Yeah.
Con, Tabuan, 5 stacks, doing his thing.
Yeah, man, big guy, doing nothing out there. You know what I mean? Rocking it out. And Kahan, he set enough camp wherever. I think Kahan, he just come from the moon just now. He come from the bright side of the moon. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you come from the bright side of the moon, the spaceship that just left the corner of Fifth and Crater.
Oh man, hey. Most bad crazy,
So yeah, man, the Wilmington is a real special place right now. You know, because you ain't gonna go down with them today.
New Orleans, yeah, we was in New Orleans today.
You know what I mean? Let me see if I get some, just to get y'all a little FaceTime and pull you all up. You know, that would be what, Louisiana?
Yeah, Louisiana. Come.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Shreveport down there. Guam came from Florida. He's down in Louisiana right now. So yeah, we all rocking out there in New Orleans.
Yeah, man. I just want to get some a little FaceTime. So, you know what I mean? A lot of people be tuning in for sure. Just want to let them know exactly where. You know what I mean? Just seeing the spot, they might be like, oh, yeah, I know where that is. I know where you're all at. You know what I mean? Just to give a little bit of FaceTime.
Right.
1 second.
Right. Yeah, we be down on Canal and Rampart, South Rampart Street, downtown. So if you down in New Orleans, you know, you come check us out. We out there. You know what I'm saying? They know about us.
God damn, she bucking, knocking you buck, boy. that went to town on that damn Salaki. I don't want to find out. Rock.
Yeah, how about you, man? Shabbat thumb. Don't worry.
Just know, coming on, getting started, General. We're just showing, running through a little bit of the brothers, the different zones the brothers was in. You know what I mean? Showing some of the spots. We ain't started with the stories just yet. I know it's full of that transparency. You know what I mean? You gotta get them their own dossier right now. The transparency.
Come. I couldn't believe that the United States Senate beat a black ass on international TV.
General.
I said, well, goddamn.
Good. Nice.
Like, once again, we said this many times. Trump sparked some shit in them Edomites out. Until that goes to their core. You will never, like, he done been out of office 2 years. And they can't wait to put him back up on that ticket to get started again. They beat that beating she took was them giving homage to Trump. That was to show Trump we still a good. Like, you got to prove your racism now to Trump. You got to prove you hate a nigga no matter what. And they proved it up in there, man. Yeah. Those was cabinet applications. Who could beat the work? You know, man.
I think Ted Cruz get good too.
Ted Cruz, and he went to school with her.
Yeah,
they was in Harvard together.
Yeah,
show you the level that she's on educationally, and show you how much her mind is gone from her own people.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
That was no different than a white woman.
Cancer.
And what I want to know is, so Slaki, go ahead, Nata.
No, I was going to say, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it is almost to the point whereas they make sure that they strip this woman of her, as you say, her blackness. Like, question those asking, like they ask her, what is a woman? And she cannot answer the question. She say, I do not know. I can't answer it. She say, I'm not a biologist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not black.
Right.
You know, and what's fucked up about it, excuse my French, is what's fucked up about it is that they asking her questions that are moral questions. Like, they asking her what is a woman because they know that the Democrats putting her in office is all about pushing transgender, lesbianism,
that's right.
You understand, and all of the other deviances that the Lord said not to push. Right. And here these corrupt, wicked white men who God knows what they're doing. They had to have a whole thing about the pages and the assistants that was assisting them senates about 5 years. Y'all remember that? The way they was molesting them young boys and sleeping with them pages so much that it came out in the news. They had to make new rules to stop them from all that goddamn molestation. So it's insane that they would even come at her like that. But once again, that's the Lord showing how this woman, with all that she's educated and caught up into the system, that this woman can't answer that question because she's committed to an evil moral existence.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she can't say, she gotta bow out the question and say, well, I don't know. When she know goddamn well what it is, every time she take her drawers off, she know what a woman is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Every time she step in that shower, she know what the hell a woman is.
Right.
But
That's
she
right.
can't say that because, of course, then she goes against that Democratic Party who's pushing an absolute evil agenda against the Most High.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is a perfect example of a sister that's gone. Like, all of them up there. And Clarence Thomas's wife, y'all heard about her, right? The Black Supreme Court judges, check this out. This came out too today. He's the only Black Supreme Court judge, Clarence Thomas, right? He sits on the Supreme Court in the United States. While all that was going on with Trump, with the riots and all that, his woman was on the phone with Trump staff members saying, keep up the fight. Y'all keep pushing the fight while they were storming the goddamn Capitol. He's a Supreme Court judge. And then they had a vote in the Supreme Court on whether or not to turn over the papers and the documents to the committee. You know, the committee was investigating it.
Right.
So they were starting to say, let's turn over the documents, There she go right there. And listen, there was one vote against turning over the documents. Everybody said turn over them documents and investigate it. But there was one dissent that did not turn over the racist white supremacist documents about rioting the damn Capitol. And of course, guess who it is? Guess who it is? Tom himself. Listen, she go back to that picture for a second. He's looking at him like he's her person. He's looking at him like this This is her personal monkey.
That's right.
Bro, go ahead. Y'all jump in anytime y'all want. Because this is, I mean, it's crazy.
General, like he had took sick, I want to say this week, Clarence Thomas, and they was talking about he wouldn't be able to hit her oral sessions and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, what's new? Like him being sick is the same as him being there because he's been on mute, especially about black issues for years. You know, he's like a token Negro, Uncle Thomas. So he's on there and he ain't said nothing. So to tell him to step down would be an insult because he never stood for anything. So it's like, what's the point of him even, being there? Whether he in a comatose state or whatever the case may be. So like,
the biggest constitutional issue on the face of the earth, the Capitol riots, and you sitting up there and you the only dissenting vote. You understand? Meanwhile, they said you see his wife sitting next to Mitch McConnell. Like she's a staunch white supremacist Edomite married to who had, like you said, nothing to say. He had something to say. He said, do not turn it. He voted against turning over the paperwork. And everybody's talking about now saying, why didn't he recuse himself, knowing that his wife was so deeply involved in the Trump campaign and deeply involved with staff members. They was voting on whether to turn the documents over. She was on the phone with Trump staff members while they taking the vote, and this nigga he voted against it, man. A white supremacist like Donald Trump that'll lock babies in cage. They talking about Putin is a war criminal. This cat locked Israelite babies in cages. Putin ain't do that.
Right.
And these Israelites wasn't bombing the country.
Right.
And this piece of garbage locked them up in cages. And this Uncle Tom step and fetch it Negro right here gonna turn around and vote against it on the side of his white wife. It's so much proof on what y'all always say about who you sleep with. And why, and once again, so much like we owe the Lord so much. We should be dropping on our knees daily, begging the Lord for mercy and forgiveness and returning our nation. Because the Lord made a law to stop this very thing.
Right.
He said, don't give your sons to their wives. He said, don't do it. They'll make them turn from me. And proof positive, we looking at it right here.
It's a lot to do.
Get down.
If I could, and these same Negroes always talking about voting, but like they always try to say marriage is an institution. Well, who you married to is it's a political decision. If you want to look at it from that level, because if you marry, like the Bible says, you marry outside your race, you making this like in essence you casting a vote for another nation. So it's an institution that's supposed to be holy to our nation, and like you said, now he's compromised, and he compromised his position as a Supreme Court sitting on the bench in the High Court. Chief Justice, they shouldn't call him Chief Justice. He should be stripped of that title. That's the case. Salakia, General.
Oh, you're right. I didn't mean to cut you off. Salakia, you so right. You should be stripped. You know what I mean? Or at least, he should have some sanctioning or something. Should be some kind of sanctions. You know what I mean?
General,
go ahead, Salakia.
If it was the other way around, it would have been, she would have been getting the pressure. Like let's say he was involved in some democratic extremism.
Yeah. And
he was on the phone talking to whoever, it would have been they would have had extreme pressure on him. And they'd have bring some scandal to destroy the marriage damn near. And like he was oppressing her in the house. And they would have come to her rescue if it was.
They would have ripped his goddamn life apart. Right or wrong?
You're right, sir.
They would have ripped his life apart. You know what I mean?
There was not letting that slide at all.
Yes.
They was never ever gonna let that slide. They would have come up with some kind of deviance that he doing that they know about. You know, post the pictures and
like I want to know when they're gonna go into her life.
Right.
Pull the tapes up. Hear the conversation of her saying, "Oh, don't worry about that nigga. I'm going down there to the Capitol and do what you got to do."
That's the lock. It's a lock, right?
God save America, nigga.
She wearing the green dress just like the Statue of Liberty too.
Like this is the height of Negro accomplishment in America. You sitting on the Supreme Court with your white woman, you know what I'm saying, in your golden ages, and you are stepping fetching.
Yeah.
So like you, Jim.
Get down.
If I could, it's one thing too. They never talk about these black leaders, so-called black leaders. They never talk about their white wives. They never dig up the history of, you know, what they got in their closet. You know, they hide their stuff.
You right. That's a common thing with them. Hiding it. You know what I mean? Hiding them white women that they got that's influencing everything they doing.
Yep.
I bet you them white women are the ones that more tell them, you know, go get into something black. Cause they get them white women being in the white world, and them white women going after them because they want a real black man. So she tell him go join something black and radical. Look at this here. He looking at her like she's a Jew.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she pushing Trump. I mean, she staunch pushing Trump.
Right.
It's a lot, too, General.
Get that.
If I could. And it's coming off all these different trials they having about the riot that just happened. A lot of them Republicans, man, they pro Putin anyway. A lot of them, you know what I'm saying? Just to be anti-Biden. But it just go to show you that, you know, we can thank Martin Luther King for this. This was his dream. This is what being a part of America right here. This is what little black boys and little white girls holding hands. This is what this looks like. You understand? In America, man. So like this is what I guess the breaking the glass ceiling look like. You know what I'm saying? Having that. You can't have a black woman on your arm, or Hispanic sister, or Native American, or what they call First Nation woman. You can't have her on your arm. You gotta have her. And whether ain't no telling how many cases she influenced his vote. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they beefing about. They're like, how he gonna vote while she all up in the politics?
Right. And June, like, can you imagine how much political access she had just being married to a wife of a Supreme Court judge?
Yes.
Like fundraising. I mean, all kind of things. Like oh God, dog, man, look at this crap. Right. I lost my train of thought, Jimmy. Shot got me on this one.
Listen, she looked like Pennywise from the movie It. You know, Pennywise. And she got hey, like something from over there looked like a serial killer.
Yeah. If I could, sir.
Get that.
Also, what black people should see with not only the Clarence Thomas situation, but also with the sister that they're trying to elect, you know, to the Supreme Court, to give her the Supreme Court nomination, is whenever you're dealing with this oppressor, you have to be locked in to some form of subjugation. Whether it's through you being, you know, part of one of their fraternities or their sorority organizations, whether it's your spouse, the person you live in your bed being, you know, one of them, or your religious affiliation. Like, you have to prove that your number one priority is service to the master in order for you to even be considered for any of these types of positions. So the big illusion that they, you know, they're trying to push this whole equality agenda, trying to push the doors opening for black people, and we're living in a post-George Floyd era, and, you know, there's access to more accessibility, when really the only thing you have access to is to bow your head low.
You have access to bend over even further. You have access to give up more of who you are and more of where your priorities should lie to your people. And you can go even further into proving that you are master's servant, you're a master's slave. It's almost as if there once was a time where, you know, if you was amongst the slaves and you found out that some slaves was talking about an insurrection, you go to master, you get rewarded. Then later on, they said, well, he's such a good nigga, we'll let him watch these other ones in the field. Now you watching the other ones that's in the field. Then you graduate to being able to, you know what, we're going to punish these niggas, but we're not going to use, the master not going to punish them no more, or the white field hand not going to punish them. Here, nigga, you take the whip and you whip them. And it's now turning into, we are the ones oppressing our people, but doing it with the master's, you know, doing it with the master's face, with the master's voice. You know what I'm saying? That's what Clarence Thomas did, and that's Supreme Court for many years. Mark. Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? And that sister, if I could, that sister, she get the nomination. They make it as if it's a celebration for black people when, if you put the pictures up of who she got on her arm, there's nothing that she's going to do or say that's going to be beneficial for our people. Like y'all alluded to earlier, they got up there, asked her, what is a woman? She's so much in line, she's so much a servant to her oppressor, she cannot even say what a woman is. So her being a woman comes second to her being a liberal, or her being a, you know, her political affiliation. She can't even speak the normal truth, the truth that's accepted by everybody on the planet. She has to act like she can't define a woman. She gotta act like she doesn't know what, you know, what black is, because God forbid she say the wrong thing, and now you're a nigga just like we thought you were. We knew we couldn't trust you. We knew you would turn your back on us as soon as we gave you, you know, we should have never gave y'all a chance. So she has to completely bow herself and completely give her spirit to this oppressor just to be considered for something that they're gonna bring her or our people any justice anyway. Can you pull up the video where Cory Booker spoke to her after the ass whooping that Massa gave her in the Senate chamber?
So like if I could, General, if I can just say one thing too, they also asked her to rate her religion from 1 to 10.
Damn.
They asked her, who was it? The same one that asked is there a Brutus for in Russia? What's his name?
Graham? Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham,
brother, he went at her like she was a runaway slave.
Right. Lindsey Graham Cracker said, well, I want you to rate your religion from 1 to 10. Like they went at the gender and they went at the religion, General. I mean, it was something to see.
Yeah, where she tried to save him, she tried to back him off and say, I thought I was here to, you know, about the Supreme Court confirmation. But they was digging in her like, you know, are you with this critical? Are you basically they were saying, are you with all this nigga shit?
Right.
That's basically what they were saying to her.
Right.
He brought up a whole bunch of children's book about critical race theory. And she said, I've never read them books, Senator. I have no idea what the books is about. Like, she had to deflect and avoid while they were sitting up there saying, are you a nigga? What are you?
Right.
Are you a nigga like us? That, you know, like our Clarence Thomas? Are you a full-out Tom? Or is you going to bring in some of this democratic evil? I mean, they was tearing into her ass out with stuff that you, first of all, you would never ask a Supreme Court judge humiliating questions.
Yeah.
A potential Supreme Court judge humiliating questions. They never did that to nobody else. Now, second of all, you wouldn't speak to her in such a hostile manner, knowing that she is getting ready to sit on the highest court. And thirdly, being the Senate, you would want to preserve the power and authority of the judiciary. So you would never want to lower a judge, a potential Supreme Court judge that low, because you want the Supreme Court to be looked at in the highest light possible. But they didn't give a damn about none of that. Lindsey Graham could barely sit still in his chair. He looked like he was going to jump out that chair and run up to that desk and whoop her ass. He was throwing papers and hostile. You saw his testimony. He was throwing papers and hostile as he could damn be. You know what I'm saying?
Salaki, sir.
Please.
If I could, watching that entire confirmation process reminded me of, you know, Esau got this thing. Anytime you join a group of Edomites, they got a thing they call hazing that they like to do. It's almost a rite of passage for you to be disrespected and for you to be pushed to the limits of your integrity. And it's almost like that's what they was doing to that sister. Like they was completely degrading and berating her in the most, you know, politically correct, professionally acceptable way possible. To where even if she got through it, it's like, okay, you got through it, but at what cost? Right. And Esau is willing to throw everything out the window. He'll completely disrespect the entire integrity of the process and everything if it means that they can bring shame to a nigga. Or if it means that they can have something later to pull up to say, see, we told y'all it was her fault. We should have did it. We tried to not get her up there. Now she's up there and look at what's going on. Like whatever comes after her getting this, if she gets confirmation, whatever rulings are passed, whatever way the Supreme Court is swayed, Esau is going to always point back to this is what we allowed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you so right. Like, you know what I mean? What we as a people had better learn in these 12 tribes, and we better learn this quick. And that is that this nation, these Edomites, have one absolute unifying authority amongst them that is ingrained amongst them. And I tell you, and I'm a bit jealous that this is in them and not in us. And that is that they unified around being Edomites, and it has kept them in power over us for 400 years. Like what we're seeing in Ukraine is, and really all of Eastern Europe and Europe, half of the world is coming up against Putin for stepping into their world. Half of the world is on Putin's ass right now.
Right.
Because Edomites are dying in Ukraine. That would have never happened if he had attacked the dark nation. Would have never, ever even went there. But because he is attacking some Edomites, and particularly some Edomites that was pouring money into their coffers over there, then that's why he's getting the heat he's getting from the rest of the Edomites. White supremacy is what is ruled and ingrained in them. We're the only nation, imagine this for a moment. We are the only nation on the earth that God had to make a law for us to separate from the other nations. And he had to make a law for us. They don't have to make them laws. They do them naturally. And it's a damn shame. And we had better wake up, because that beating that she took in that Senate was because Donald Trump unified white people under being white.
Yeah.
That is theory. Really talking to her like, look at what is this nigga doing in here? He's pointing at her. He's rude and disrespectful and nasty, and like the real Edomite in him is coming out. And that's because these Edomites are in a full-out fight for white supremacy.
Right.
He's and they going ballistic. Go ahead, Salaki.
And Salaki, so with him too, sir, you could tell. Okay, the same thing your politicians do when they ask a question, when they ask them a question, how to dance around, and before you know it, you didn't answer the question. She was doing him that a lot, and he was getting pissed to the point where he wasn't accepting whatever she was saying. You know what I mean?
Right. He didn't even let her answer.
Right. He was pressing her on the what you call it again, on the law with pedophilia. Yeah. And the thing is, the Senate is the one to blame, but he trying to put the blame on. He trying to make it look like she is immoral for how she viewed the law. Like she's trying to tell him, yo, I'm basing my judgment off of what you all pass. But he ain't want that. He want to hear, you know what I mean? He want to hear this person has to go to jail for 50, 60 years for life. And she's like, you all tie my hands based on the laws you all set up. The Senate.
Right.
In other words. And he was
right, which is
pissed because she was, answering, like dancing around basically what he wanted.
Right. And here's what's
he got kissed at his own medicine. And and he was pissed off.
He was, and here's the thing. She was trying to say, y'all passed these laws. Y'all gave us these laws and guidelines. Like, they're the ones that make the law. The hell you mad at her for? When she don't make the law, y'all make the law. The Senate and the Congress, they make the law. But he arguing with her like she gonna distribute any legal law she wants. When she said, y'all wrote in these discretions,
right,
in these guidelines. And they know they wrote them in because white men are the ones on the internet dealing with child pornography.
Right.
Yeah. They know goddamn well that there's a bunch of old Edomites on the internet looking at child pornography.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why they caught the subway man with like 50,000 all the kind of crazy porn on his computer. And they the ones that passed the law, and they put them guidelines in there to give them a break because they knew how vicious they was.
Yeah.
And so, on them child porn. So she go by the guidelines they give her, and this piece of garbage is mad as hell with her. Not that we defending her because she's somebody special, because she ain't crap either.
Right.
Her and that Edomite husband. But it's just the proof of the hypocrisy of them. God. You understand? And the proof that no matter how much you gravel and how much you conform and how much you humble underneath them, it don't even matter.
Right.
When it comes to their white supremacy, Ted Cruz went to school with her.
Right.
They know each other. They was colleagues together. And he still ripped her like she was a nigga, in a office meeting that wasn't supposed to be there. Please.
And she kind of like in the catch-22, because if she gets confirmed, or if she don't get confirmed, she has to preside over. It's a race case going on right now. I think it might be at Harvard or one of them places that she preside over. I forgot exactly. There's an article on it where it's about race in schools. So it's race and how race is viewed in some schools dealing with Blacks and Hispanics. And so if she don't get confirmed, she would have to preside over that. If she gets confirmed, she would miss presiding over that because they would have appointed her to the Supreme Court. So, and then Lord knows what she's gonna have to preside over then. You know what I'm saying? So Salaki.
Right. Well, she's definitely going to the Supreme Court because Democrats rule in both parties right now. Okay, or have enough votes rather in both parties. So she going to the Supreme Court. Like they knew that's why the other Edomites stepped down. The other Edomites stepped down so that Biden could get her in before the Republicans get a chance to take back the Senate and run her. Then they would have ran her the hell up out of there.
If I could, sir, another heavy thing, watching her, how they came at her, Senator Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz. These cats is up for re-election soon. So what Donald Trump has done is he's set the bar for how far you can go in disrespecting, our people and being blatantly racist and white supremacist. So
yes,
Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz took full advantage of this opportunity to show their base, to show that those Trump people, we riding with you.
Yeah,
we're following in his footsteps. We're applying pressure. We're not gonna let we're not letting them slide by anymore. We was too gentle with Obama. We should have spoke up more. We should have said more about that birth certificate and about that African daddy. You know what I'm saying? But they looking at that as a missed opportunity. Trump came in and now has reset the landscape. We're back to the days of the good old boys and back to the days of, being able to, everybody's turning a blind eye because the sentiments of the people who are voting in this country is, man, anything to get these niggas and keep them in their place. So what Graham and what Ted Cruz did was let it be known, we saw what Trump did, we saw the effect it had, and we're following in his footsteps.
You're right.
If I could, and look at the white women that's behind Lindsey Graham. They're not disturbed whatsoever. Like these black women quick to look at these white women as allies, but look at how he's berating her, and look at the facial expression of them. They're unbothered. Actually, they look entertained at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like they sitting there looking like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's nothing to them. It's nothing, like they don't look at her like a fellow woman. Like, why are you doing this to a woman? They're looking at her like this. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All this feminist garbage is a bunch of hogwash. You know what I'm saying? You know, these black women need to understand that these white women don't care about your plight. They don't care about it. When it comes down to it, they'll stand right behind Lindsey, sit right behind that man, just like they're doing right now. A lot of them is congressional aides too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. High congressional aides in his cabinet. And they don't toe the line when it comes to feminism. They stand with their race. It's a lot.
If I could too, like at the same time, as you said, the stand with their race, if you notice, Lindsey Graham has that little lapel, he have a Ukraine flag on there. But while he's you know, he up there showing sympathy for people who not even American or, you know, have nothing to do with him, he is now doing to her what the Russia doing to Ukraine. But he in solidarity with his own white people. And you know, if I could, one more thing. I know for sure you're gonna remember this devil here, this oppressor, when they elected her, and she was a full out, she was in a cult. Yeah, still in. A full out cult. She was the handmaid's tale. That's it. Children oppressing these little Levite children who they adopt. Yeah. Same as you brought out on the show, so the same suit they was wearing. The brother here has two Levite children. The brother and the sister, they wear the same clothes to when she get confirmed with Trump. That's right. And they gave her the smoothest ride inside it. She ain't have no problem. No problems. You know, no problems at all. They didn't question her the same way. Her religion didn't even come into play. Yeah. And she is in what America would call a cult. You see that when you say, as you brought out today, she in the same dress and the same suit, and it's two different pictures from, one was of the archives, and now this is when they're in their, you know, with Trump. And God knows what it must feel like to grow up being really an orphan and living among them. You ain't never gonna forget you an orphan because you a totally different person from them. Right. And you got to grow up under that kind of madness and look proper in front of everybody for the sake of them getting on the Supreme Court. And of course, you better look like you thankful for what they did. I mean, this is such an evil, backwards, twisted thing. But we're going over the time. So, but I want to ask, I got to ask y'all to get me the tape on Cory Booker, and then I got to ask y'all to let me get one scripture. First Maccabees, first chapter, 24th verse, because you can grab that. Now this one, you got to play some audio on this one. Just a little bit of this audio when he talks. So I just want you to get mainly the part where he told her that America's getting better. It's getting better. That's the heavy part that he dropped right there. If you can find it. I'm going to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so much more than your race and gender. You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're an intellect, you love books, but for me, I'm sorry, it's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom, not to see my cousins, one of them who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back. I see my ancestors and yours. Like, just stop right there for 1 second. Now listen, this is some amazing stuff. Like, he's saying these things because he know these white supremacists just finished beating the piss out of her. Right. And so he's trying to level it off. But the question I have is, if you know this is all white supremacists, and you know how they treat this sister, and you trying to deflect it, how in the hell do you deal with being up in there knowing this and you ain't saying or doing a damn thing about it? You ain't saying nothing about their white supremacy. Meanwhile, Donald Trump out and out calling Latinos racist, locking them in cages, all that. And you ain't calling none of these white people out for what they're doing to this sister right here.
knowing that they coming at her. That's why the first line out of his mouth was, "You're so much more than your race and your gender."
Right.
That they know why they coming at you. They disgusted that you going on the Supreme Court as a black woman, and they want to make sure you know that you are still a nigger in their eye. And he trying to hedge it off, but if you notice, like, how you gonna be in the Senate and the Congress knowing that these white supremacists have it in for you and your people?
Right.
You calling up about your ancestors and all that because you know that that this sister's in the same position that your ancestors were in, being brutalized, and like it's reminding him of his mama and his ancestors because he see the brutality that they coming at her in this hearing. Yet you will never get this Negro to open his goddamn mouth about what's happening to us and how wicked, and more than just what's happening to us, or how wicked they are to allow it to happen. Go ahead, play some more.
Come on.
So where you at?
I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street, or the calls that I'm getting, or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American.
Wait, that's why they said what they say. He said what he's saying because they, in essence, saying you not worthy.
Right.
You're a nigger. And he had to say you're a great American, meaning you're not a great black woman, but you are an American. That's him in trying to put her in the game. To show you what he knows, what he's doing. Like, which is so sad in this. We on the street every week out here teaching about how evil the empire is, right? But let's be honest, we don't face Edomites challenging us with their white supremacy every day. We in the hood. You know what I mean? We come across it here and there, but he's dealing with it every single day and not opening his mouth about it. Not one word about it. Can you y'all jumped ahead on that tape. Can you find the part where he says America's getting better? So important, that part right there.
Yeah, Carl Collins. This one was a minute long, but we right at the end of it. Let me see if there's another one. I know we're right at the end of it. Yeah, that was it for this one. Let me look.
You played the whole minute? That was the whole minute? You didn't jump ahead?
Nah, that's the whole minute. I could run it back again.
Okay, I thought it jumped ahead, but I could be wrong.
And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is.
Yeah, I think that was the whole minute, like you said.
You're a Christian, you're a mom, you're an intellect, you love books, but for me, I'm sorry.
Now he's mentioning all those other things because he knows with all your intelligence and all your education, you're just a nigger to them.
Right.
And he knows it. And this is the best he can do to defend us as a people.
Right.
That's why Christ needs the prophets and priests. That's why he raised us up. Because he can't do it. He's a United States Senator or Congress, I forget which one he is, out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Famous.
Senator.
A United States Senator. You know what his family had to do to get this Negro in this seat he's in right here? They had to go through hell and high water, man. He had to go to the best educational classes, the best groups, the best circles. He had to go through so much to become a United States Senator. He had to be a mayor first, all of that.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he couldn't defend us if he wanted to.
Right. Yeah.
He couldn't call them out on their racism if he wanted to. He had to do it sideways. I think this might be the one.
Yes, I say it in America never was America to me, but I swear this oath, America will be. That is the story of how you got to this desk.
Wait again. He's saying he's swearing the oath that America will be. He know it ain't right towards the Lord's children.
That's right.
400 years and he's still talking about what it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, we better pray to the Most High, man. We better get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments every damn day, brother. We better do that bad quick because putting our hope in this empire is for an insane man.
Right.
Go ahead, give me a little bit more, y'all, if you don't mind. I'm gonna get one scripture and I'm gonna get up off it. Salah.
Generations of folk who came here and said, America, I'm Irish. You may say, no, Irish are dogs need to fly, but I'm going to show this country that I can be free here. I can make this country love me as much as I love it. Chinese Americans forced into near slave labor, building our railroads, connecting our country.
So it wasn't no slave labor.
But they're going to build their home here and say, America, you may not love me yet, but I'm going to make this nation live up to its promise and hope.
Stop right there again.
Americans,
like, oh my God. 400 years later, we still got to we got to find a way to get America to love us. 400 years later?
Right.
Like, we done suffered 10 times what every ethnic group has come over here and suffered.
Right.
And on a way higher level. The cost we paid is 10 times more, and we still got to take up the same dream that they take up?
Right.
Brother, this man can't help us. He's a United States Senator with brown skin, and there's not a goddamn thing he can do for us. Clarence Thomas sits on the Supreme Court while his wife promotes the greatest white supremacist since Adolf Hitler in this country. Okay? This black sister get up here to become part of the Supreme Court, and they beat her up like a runaway slave. Like, and we putting our hope in this. This is who we looking at to deliver the Lord's chosen people, to fix our nation, to get us off of drugs, to get us decent housing, to have heat inside our house, man, to have more than a paycheck to just pay your bills, to have a decent plate of food for your child to go to school and get a decent book in a decent sized class, to end drug violence and drug corruption among us, man, to end police brutality and being killed on the street by a cop's boot, a knee on your neck. This is the man that we counting on. This nigga still hoping that America love him. The hell he gonna help us?
Right.
We better turn to the Most High, man. Give me a little bit more if y'all could. I'm hoping he say that part. And I'm looking for it. But he says so.
Stonewall women to Seneca. Hidden figures who didn't even get their play until some Hollywood movie finally talked about them and how they were critical for us defying gravity. All of these people loved America. And so you faced insults here that were shocking to me. Well, actually not shocking. But you are here because of that kind of love. And nobody's taking this away from you. Because you got 5 more folk to go through. 5 more of us. And then you can sit back and let's have all the debates. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a well-charted Senate floor because it's not going to stop. They're going to accuse you of this and that. Heck, in honor of your person who shares your birthday, you might be called a communist. But don't worry, my sister. Don't worry.
You said my sister. Like, this is a racial argument in the Senate.
Right, hold on.
They have a racial argument. Come on, girl. They have a racial argument on the Senate floor.
Hey, Commander General Hunter, if I could, sir, Salaki. General, they know what you saying is right. These black politicians, it's at these moments that everything that you taught us makes sense to them now. Everything that you taught us in the Israelite school, UPK, now it makes sense. He identifies her as his sister.
Yes.
Like doing this hearing, doing this confirmation hearing, it got, like you said, it got racial. Yes. He had to show solidarity when the rubber met the road.
Yes.
So like it, General. So like I'm a year.
And he told her it will not end here. You got 5 more to go. In other words, black people have enough love for America that regardless of the disrespect they give you, regardless of what you go through, love this place to the very bitter end to get what you want. Brother, that's a lesson that's going to get us here.
Please
Jump in.
So like Captain Shop. I was gonna say, watching that is like it's almost as if a male slave is employing a female slave to just take 5 more lashes. But I know it's been back and feet.
Not even lashes. This is beyond lashes now, because he ain't saying 5 more people gonna beat up on you. He said there's 5 more of us to go. This is beyond the lashes now. This is him watching his sister get violated.
Yes.
Wiping her eyes and smiling. This is the trauma smile. I don't know if y'all picked it up. That little trauma grin he gave. Like, yeah, you so strong. Look at you. I'm trying to get the grin. He gave her a grin, which is like admiration for being the whipping pole.
Yes.
The toy, the this, the that. But you can do it. Go on back in there and let them run a train on you. Go on back in there and let them violate you, because you are my sister. Christianity is.
And if I could, sir, it's so disgusting for them to think that any of our ancestors died for this.
Right.
Like in their minds, the beatings and the rapings and the slavery was one day you can go take one for the team in front of everybody to sit on some seats that has nothing to do with any of us progressing at all. Like no slave died for this. No brother or sister getting their back beat was thinking maybe one day God will let us grovel at these people's feet to get a piece of what they got. No, the slaves who got beat, they prayed the Lord destroyed their enemies. They prayed that the chariots would swing low and come forth to carry them home. This is not what anybody prayed for. This is not what was in the thoughts or the prayers of any slave.
Right.
Like they are whipping us. They are it's like all the beatings, but the white man is doing it again. It's like they're broadcasting at this time for the rest of the Negroes. If they don't have the guidance and the leadership of the righteous men of God under command of GEN.YAHANNA and I.S.U.P.K, they will think that this is what being black is about.
Yep.
Suffering and taking beatings and being whipped and being embarrassed and shamed, but to hold your head high and say, "You see, niggas, I did it. Now what about you?"
It's damn near like you're breaking the buck without the buck.
Yes.
It's like breaking the buck, but without the buck now. The buck spirit, because this is the buck here who's supposed to be talking. But now his spirit done broke, she done broke, and after this, you surely don't have any integrity or any type of inside strength to stand for nothing, because you done let them do whatever they wanted to do you, without even talking up for yourself. Right.
You're right. Like them tears is defeat.
Yeah.
Them tears is you gonna let them have their way. When she walk up out of there, brother, she gonna be a Supreme Court judge, and she gonna make sure she never handle a case that is pro-black.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She gonna make sure she never stand up on it. She gonna make sure for the rest of her career, she gonna make sure that all her votes reflect that she got no more blackness in her.
Yeah.
She gonna reflect that she has completely given up her blackness, and so that they could feel comfortable and safe. Like this here is a travesty of justice right here. This is a travesty of justice in the way that they handle it. Once again, not that she's a good, great person that should be on any Supreme Court, less alone a Supreme Court of Esau. But what her soul has given up to get there is more than anybody else on that court, and it's why the Lord will bring judgment on this place out.
And so, like you said,
please,
and this goes to show you too. You know what I mean? Our Christianity is not, or the oppressor Christianity.
Yep.
She's a Christian, and they don't accept her.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They don't. They want her to. You know what I mean? They will accept her if she fully give up her nationality. They want to make sure she give up her nationality, give up everything to show that she loves America.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that question with what is a woman?
Right.
As I say, she could answer it. If she answered, she is, you know what I mean, she's gonna show that she has some type of, you know what I mean, morality that America hates.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a lot. If I could, that's a lot.
Go ahead, Cap.
If I could, and when he said, if I could amplify what Captain Nadak said, and when Cory Booker said, you're a Christian and you an intellectual, and then he went on, and then he should have said, and you married to a white man. He should have said that.
That's what would have got up.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
That would have, you
And he would have said, oh, and by the way, you're married to a white man. You're married, like, because let that be the lesson to all of you that want to get back with the universal I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. They want to get mad with us. Let that be a lesson to you. Like he should have just stopped there. He should have said, "You a Christian, you an intellect, you went to Harvard, and you married to a white man." That would have been that would have spit in they. See, he don't know how to really deal with them.
Yeah, listen, he can't say it. He can't say it because the nigga scared of his job.
Right.
He trying to help her out. He see how horrible it is. You know how desperate she is. But he got to hedge off even the help he give up.
Right. Cut will come.
Right. And it's you know, I mean, it's to show you that America, I mean, on the dollar saying "God we trust," that they show you that they're going by their constitution, not by the Bible, not by, you know, I mean, you're a Christian, you cannot go by you have to go by the American Constitution first. Then we'll see what's inside the Bible. And the Bible still, you know, I mean, has some stories behind it that we're still questioning. You know what I mean? That's the type of mentality that the pushing, you know what I mean? When you know what I mean, I sit down and I look at this sister and how they're coming at her, and she cannot say anything that will show that she has some type of integrity. You know what I mean? Like she has some type of, you know what I mean, moral upbringing. You know what I mean? Like if she is to really say, you know what I mean, speak, they'll twist all quick.
And that's they go beyond her attacking her as a black woman, as a minority, and as a woman. They went attacking her humanity. Because even an animal will strike back or yell or do something. Yes. And she just sat there and like, no, well, I'm not a biologist. You know, I can't do, you know, like she totally suppressed a natural desire to survive when being attacked. Right. Like that there is, I mean, like after this, you left your soul in that Senate floor. Like your soul is there. That's where we got her here today to rest the soul of Ketanji. That's it. It's just a corpse walking out there now. Like she's done, her whole soul is ripped out there. They attack her whole humanity. Imagine, like you can't even say, well, hold up. Even Comey, and then remember when they was attacking and grilling Comey? Yeah. He was pushing back on them.
Back on them, and they, you can push back on them. She could have got up there and said, well, Senator, anything that promotes clear understanding of the suffering that Black people have gone through, I think can always help us all to understand the reality of what we've done. Like she could have, you know, been tactful and hit him back, but not if you want to make sure that all white people look at you as a good nigga that will never, you understand, side with your people and their suffering over the greatness that this empire is seeking after. As long as you don't do that, we all right. The minute you turn around and start acting like Black people deserve some sense of justice, oh my God, then let the walls of hell come down on you is what the hell they were saying. In essence, they were saying to her, you know, you better not have no Blackness in you. Is there any in you? Are you going to get angry at us, chastising you like we are, and humiliating you like we are? Are you going to lash out? Are you going to stand for anything Black at all? And she had to sit there and humbly take it after her forefathers suffered for 400 years, man. Hey, let me read this scripture so we can get off this, because we ain't gonna get to no other topics if we don't. One quick one, because you holding that?
Kawakah, sir.
Read
First,
nice and fast.
Kawakah, sir.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land.
Now, this is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, the general from Alexander, who took over that whole region and who eventually became the powerhouse in that zone. And then he came down to our land and destroyed our land, very much like we went through in slavery. Go ahead.
Okay. Having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
Like they did in that Senate, spoke proudly, man. After all that they done did and destroyed us, the nerve of them to come up in that Senate and talk so proudly about any black person that would stand up for anything black. They spoke so proudly, like, how dare you? After they created a massacre for 400 years of God's chosen people. Read on.
Kawakah. Verse 25. Therefore, there is a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were.
Right. There was a great mourning. That's what's supposed to be happening with us. We're supposed to be in a great mourning. We ain't supposed to be getting high and trying to have a good time in hell. We're supposed to be mourning over what has happened to us and looking for the path from the Most High on how to get out of this captivity. Keep going. 27.
Verse 26. So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
That's just like us in this empire. The beauty of our women have changed. Our women have become lesbians and bulldaggers and hard as hell. You understand? Our men become feeble. We kill each other over a drop of a dime. That's a feeble man. We kill each other over a color. That's a feeble man. A strong man would try to preserve and build and use his strength to sacrifice to build and raise his brothers up. But what do? We, instead of building, we sit out there and sell drugs and watch our brothers and sisters die before our eyes. Our men have become feeble and our women have changed their countenance, man. We'll keep going on.
If I could ask it, would that even apply to her there? Because, you know, our sisters are known not only for being beautiful physically, but that spirit of not allowing that shit to happen. And no black woman ain't gonna do that. And in some kind of way, we find beauty in how a sister would go. But seeing her take that there and not even respond, like that beauty has changed there.
Yeah, and the beauty that the Lord is talking about in here is the beauty of us, it's physical as well, but it's the beauty of us towards our nation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the beauty of us towards our culture and identity. She's in that Senate trying to be like a white woman, trying to pass like a white woman. But a sister who had the countenance of a sister or the beauty of a sister would have gone in there and been pro-black regardless of the consequences. You understand? And that's what it means when they say it changed. Like y'all brought out, that other judge, that white girl that they just put up on there, she stood on her religion. Yeah. Stood on her belief. You understand? She didn't give a damn. She called it like she called it, and they respected her and put her on that bench. But this black woman didn't. When she knows how racist they are, Cory Booker knows. Yeah. He's sitting there watching it happen and trying to comfort her in it. But her whole beauty changed. Like her, she don't have the beauty of an Israelite woman. You got the beauty of a white woman now. You understand? Go ahead.
Khan, verse 27. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness.
That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be in heaviness. Why? Because she know that them husbands gonna have to stand up and die for their nation to be free. You understand? And that's why the bridegroom took up lamentation. You know what I mean? Like they knew these marriages wasn't gonna be able to go where they needed to go because of the hell that they was in and what they had suffered. Go ahead.
Oh God, verse 28. The land was also moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
That's us. The land is moved because of these inhabitants, man. And I mean, literally, they gentrifying our neighborhoods, running us to and fro, got us tied up into these cities, man, like cattle. And we in a full out confusion. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know how to live. We don't know what to do. We selling drugs. We killing and murdering each other. We in every deviancy. We don't even know what a male and female sex is because they got us in so much confusion. We killing our babies in the abortion clinic. We in a full out madness pretty much in this kingdom, man. Go ahead.
Oh God. Verse 29. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them.
You see that? But that's what they came back to do. Speak peaceable words. They still put her on the Supreme Court. But really, these people are slaughtering the Lord's chosen people out. We're dying a slow death here. And that's why Christ's gonna return. They ain't gotta worry about us, but they're gonna have to worry about that return of Christ, which is happening right now, starting in Ukraine. He done drove this man to the feet, like he said, terrorists shall drive him to his feet. He's on his feet now. That Biden is on a plane every goddamn week, flying somewhere because he's being driven to his feet, man. All right, come on, give me a couple more, y'all.
Kawakana. But all was deceit, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore.
And that's what happened. They'll put her on the Supreme Court and they'll put Donald Trump and one of them back in office and do more slaughter to black people. And guess what? She'll be on that Supreme Court. And when those racial issues come up, she gonna remember this beating she got in this Senate. She gonna remember how she got beat and abused and brought to tears before the world by these animals, man. That was equivalent to a goddamn lynching in the South. That was spiritually equivalent to being lynched in the South. And she gonna remember that terror they brought down on her. And she gonna either recuse herself or vote against black people in whatever case comes up in that kind of situation. They're gonna take a massive strength out of her that Cory Booker don't even have to stand up for us in this type of situation. Go ahead.
Kawakana, and destroyed much people of Israel. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle.
They plundered us, man, slaughtered us, burned the cities down. What Putin is doing over there in Ukraine, that's what they did to us, man. That's what they did to us for 400 years. They did that to us. Go ahead.
Kawakana. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them.
Then they set themselves up in certain places and made themselves powerful. So they did in Gad's land right here. They set up certain strongholds, made themselves powerful, and oppressed everybody around them. One more verse. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein.
And that's what they did here as well. They brought in all types of heathens. All the labor and hard work that we did to build this country and make it great. And they filled it with the heathens. They are bringing 100,000 Ukrainians to the United States. They already passed the order. They're going to bring 100,000. Now, understand this. Last year, it was not 100,000 immigrants that were allowed to come in the United States combined. With all the immigrants they let into this country, it wasn't 100,000. With from everywhere in the world that they let immigrants in here, 100,000 immigrants were not entered into this country. Yet, they're going to kick off sending in 100,000 Ukrainians. That's more than all the immigration combined. And letting them walk right in through the Mexican border. You seen that footage? I mean, talk about a nightmare, a horror of abuse of the Lord's chosen people and bringing in the wicked and the sinful to sit up over us. We got to serve our King and these laws, statutes, and commandments with the utmost. Go ahead, Salaki.
Go on, John. And then in the propaganda, as far as them coming over here, it sounds totally different than what they would say when the Mexicans come get over here.
I mean, they were literally holding the Mexicans at the border and letting them through. They was literally holding the Latinos. They was at the border. They were holding them at the border and literally set up a lane for them Ukrainians to come through. And they had the microphones on them and said, so, you know, how you trying to talk to them? And they said, yes, I just want to get my family into the United States and get them settled so I can help my brothers back in Ukraine. And it was like, no problem. And they walked them right on through while the Latinos, there you go, look, They have a special lane for them.
That's
At
crazy.
the Mexican border. Look at the Latinos. Go back to that if you could. Look at the Latinos being held back in the other lane. See them over there on the right?
Right.
Now watch how they letting the Ukrainians come through and how they holding them Latino brothers back. Go ahead and play it. Look, they see how they holding them? See the guy pointing at them?
Come.
They holding them back. But these Ukrainians, they ain't holding them back. Look at it.
That's a lot, General. Nobody's saying.
Wait, go back. Salakia. Look at that. That's the I.S.U.P.K on the right. That's the Ukrainians on the left.
Talk about equality.
You understand? Like all the Latinos is held back, but this blonde-haired, blue-eyed ex-Nazis, they able to come through, and it only came out on stations like Al Jazeera and other. I think CNN might have carried it as well. But this blonde hair and blue eyes, it ain't all of a sudden it ain't no immigration party.
Right.
And remember, this is a Democratic government. This ain't no Republicans. You can't blame Donald Trump and the Republicans for this. This is a Democratic government. And look at them. They popping out their passports and going right on in.
That's a lot, General. And they just go to show you once again how they streamline citizenship and they bypass bureaucracy in America once again. And then the rhetoric is different. Nobody's saying they coming to take our jobs.
Right.
Nobody's saying that how we gonna sustain the economy having all these immigrants. Nobody's saying that. Nobody
calling them rapists, and ain't nobody putting their babies in no cages.
Right. General. No, the rhetoric is totally different. And them giving them $9 billion, passing that financial that welfare money for them. No one is telling them to pull themselves up by their Ukrainian bootstraps.
Yep.
No one is telling them that. You understand? But you got a low life Ukrainian that was probably poor. He gonna come over here and be damn near middle class.
Yeah.
He gonna come over here and get a head start over here, and his life is gonna be better over here than it was in Ukraine, just for him by being Ukrainian, just by him making it to the train.
So, like, if I could, sir, brothers and sisters in the hood should get ready for a Ukrainian pita bread shop opening up in your neighborhood near you. I don't know what they eat over there or what they produce, but it's the same thing that we saw when Esau was over there fighting the Korean War. Here come all the Koreans with the Korean beauty supply stores. And they was over there bombing Vietnam and killing them Cambodians. Here come the Vietnamese with their post shops, and they doing all the foot massages and doing all the nails. You understand? When they had something going on over there in Ethiopia, I grew up in D.C. Here come the Ethiopians, flooding the northwest Washington, D.C. But black people should see the writing on the wall. It's going to be a Ukrainian something in your neighborhood. They're going to come. I don't know what they eat. I don't know what they produce, but it's going to be a business that the white man is going to give them grants and give them free money. Like Capcom said, they're going to be your middle class. They're going to be, in your neighborhood trying to sell you something, make something that you need, because that's how the white man deals with. That's how they're going to
be your landlord. They're going to be your landlord.
That's the concept.
There's a apartheid tape here, so where there's a apartheid tape here. I think the reporter interviewing this I.S.U.P.K brother, and he's saying 2 months ago, his family was threatened and he was beaten, but he feel horrible now watching these Ukrainians cross the border and he can't pass.
You feel bad because you can see that they give priority to another country. How am I going to feel? But what can we do? That's good. After he was kidnapped and fled southwest Mexico, after he was kidnapped and beaten, the rest of the family threatened.
And look at the Edomite. Look at the Edomite reporter acting like he's concerned, nodding his head. They know this is an absolute travesty. Right. Go ahead, Kahan, Salakia. Go ahead, Salakia.
So come on, John. I just wanted to say, like you see the hypocrisy that's going on with this place, and like it's just showing our people more and more. The Lord is just showing our people more and more why we have to separate. Because they're gonna come over here and you say all the time, Joseph was a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna come over here with an economy or section of the economy already carved out for them.
Yes.
We already have things where if there was a carpenter over there, they got a list of carpenter places that they can probably open up, start their own business. counseling, free counseling, all kind of different things to help them with their medical issues. Everything is being laid out for them under this bill. And they're coming over here with the red carpet, mainly us being the red carpet. They're gonna walk on and be able to have what they need. You know what I'm saying? So their communities and the people that's already in America, that are Ukrainian, are getting some of that money because they're saying, look, we would help them get acclimated into America. So they're receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make sure they got housing. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like they getting paid. Ukrainians are getting paid over here now. It's rolling up here. And if you an American Ukrainian and you've been over here for some years, they're gonna sponsor you. They're gonna sponsor whatever organization you just made overnight on the internet, saying we here for Ukrainian aid, and they're gonna give you the money. Like that's what's going on. Salaki,
sir, if I may, you hit it dead on. You hit it dead on, sir, when you said they're gonna be your landlords. Because I was here thinking that same thing, and you hit it right on the money. Because what I'm saying is just like how being us from New York City, we've always experienced this in the hood. How the Italians would treat us and the Irish would treat us. These Ukrainians are going to treat us with the same measurement, if not far worse. We've already seen on the media, excuse me, how they treated those Hamites. They damn sure going to treat every Puerto Rican, every black man, every West Indian brothers and families and Dominicans far worse than that. And a lot of us going to have to prepare ourselves to see those things, because that's what's going to happen in every place that they're going to station these Ukrainians. They are going to be our landlords, as you said, sir. And I just see that coming through.
And still out here, sir.
That's so daggone true. Go ahead, Captain.
Like I said, one thing, sir, like it's easy to see the reason why Ukraine coming across to America, right? They could put the blame on Putin, right? But it's more difficult for Black people to see the state of Mexico is because of America. The state of all them poor countries, Haiti, Jamaica, all of them is because of America, the IMF. It's equivalent to what Putin doing to our country.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know
but
exactly what you're saying. Go ahead, Salaki. You so right, too.
But we gonna sit back and watch. Well, you know what I mean, these people getting the place bombed. So of course, you know what I mean, it's easy to see that they need somewhere to go. But a Mexican or Haitian, nah, you will stay where you all at. And you know what I mean, and that's America propaganda right there. You know what I mean?
Because get the scripture where the Lord said that they said, lay thy body as the ground. Go ahead, whoever that was about to break in.
Come on. Yes, sir. And that scripture about to pull so heavy, gentlemen, because when you really look at it, oh man, like how they doing our brothers, like, and then these Black churches got the audacity to tell Black people to pray for Ukraine. I'm hearing these Black churches. I'm hearing these Black churches is telling Black people in the ghetto to pray for Ukraine. And I don't know if I could take a scene another nigga wearing a Ukrainian flag. I don't know if I could take it anymore. I don't know if I can take another Negro walking down the street saying he praying for Ukraine with a Ukrainian flag on his book bag or a Ukrainian Facebook post. I don't know if I can take it anymore, gentlemen.
I don't know how you can.
It's ridiculous. Like we gotta be the slave to you gotta be a slave to the Ukrainians. Like it's a shame, man. And Zelensky over there, they just had an article that the damn Israel want to be the mediator between Ukraine and Russia. And he over there, every time I turn on TV, I see Zelensky begging. We need more money. We need more guns. He always just begging every day, just begging on the damn thing. Get out there and start shooting. Stop capping and start capping. Stop begging. Stop asking for a handout. Pull yourself up by your Ukrainian bootstrap. Get a love it, yo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Hey, no, you right. You right. Get a goddamn job, man. You know what I mean? Like everybody has been able to walk on us to build themselves up. How is Ukraine gonna get rebuilt? If they win the war against Putin, how is Ukraine gonna get built up? They're going to get money from the government, which is your tax money, and they're going to open up businesses here and eat us alive.
Come.
And we'll be under them and grinding under them and working under them and all of that all over again. And they'll just be the next iteration of how we're kept in captivity. Just why, man, it's so wrong for us to not follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Don't nobody else have a better plan than the Most High when it comes to us. And then right. Like, I don't want to know about no other God except the God of niggas. That's it. Whoever that cat is, that's the only cat I'm riding with, man. And we found him. He's the only one that is like, he's the only God that say, don't marry none of them. Don't join none of them.
Right. That's it.
Just do what I said to do. That's a God. That's a real God. You
Yes,
understand? Every other God tell you that we all one and we all together while we sitting on the bottom of everybody else. You understand? So I ain't listening to no other God. Go ahead and read that scripture, please.
Come on, God, sir. Isaiah chapter 51, verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
That's what they said to this Jackson sister in the Senate here. Bow down. You going on the Supreme Court, grovel. You understand? Like what they did to her was the equivalent of a boot kissing that we do at camp.
That's it, yeah.
They said, bow down. Then we walk over you. Go ahead.
Come, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground.
We laid our body as the ground, man. And now we're going to be the ground for 100,000 Ukrainians. I mean, that's an influx like I can't even explain. Remember, that's all the immigration combined in a year. They're going to do it one time for these Ukrainians. And they already just brought in 20 or something thousand Afghanistanians and gave them a ton of money and all that. Meanwhile, you could barely get a decent job in this empire.
Yeah, you know, sir? You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like, I always tell people, you know what I mean? Like, okay, go back 100 years, 50 years when we was in slavery. There was no unemployment.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. 100% unemployment.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you in 2022, there's what 14% unemployment in the Black community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're trying to pit us against our Hispanic brother who trying to come here and, you know what I mean, get a job also too. Like, come on, man. Like how much we're gonna have to, you know what I mean, lay down so that, you know what I mean, these people could, you know what I mean, just walk, trample, run, do whatever over us, man.
Like we the big dumbass joke. Like they all come over here and all say, this is America, it's for everybody. While they all organizing themselves to eat us alive. And we the only dummies sitting around like, yeah, it is for everybody. And then they come walk right in and eat us alive while we sit there and die slow. And then we look up later and they the landlord, they the business owner, they the ones running every operation. They sitting in the government seats, they signing the contracts and the checks and everything else like every other nation. And we sitting around wondering, how did all this happen?
Right.
You know what I mean?
If I may, sir, that's so heavy that you say it because it's like they're getting a free ride. They're getting to come in with the aid of all the money. Then we got to be the slaves underneath them to turn around. We got to go pay the taxes back for all the money that they didn't got.
And meanwhile, we paved the road for 400 years to get to some civil rights. And meanwhile, like you said, we got to pay the taxes on all the money they're going to give them.
Right. If I could, sir.
You're right. Go ahead, Kat.
Hearing about, people coming to America and seeing the Statue of Liberty. And they hearing about, Ellis Island and all of the Irish and the Germans and all the people who was escaping poverty and brokenness in their countries to come to the land of promise and the land of milk and honey. But that's never been that for Black people. It's never been that for the Hispanic. Like our Hispanic brothers just trying to get here for the hope and the promise of what America's supposed to be. And while they're waiting and begging and crawling to get over here, the gates open to 100,000 Ukrainians to walk past them. They literally walk past them into the land of promise where they're handed a golden ticket
to go to the front of the goddamn line to get businesses and jobs, get their passport papers, get established as their citizenship. Where's all of the talk about the citizenry? Where's all the talk about how you're supposed to? You can't just come over to this country and now you're assumed as a citizen. All of that goes out the window when there's a white problem. You understand? But the Mexicans standing on the border. Where was all of that talk 2 months ago, 3 months ago? Like you said, General, the Democrats in office right now.
Right.
The still up.
Them immigration officers ain't on horseback whipping nobody.
Right.
That's right.
Why they ain't on horseback whipping the hell out of them Ukrainians? They taking a passport like they just regular citizens.
That's right.
That passport say Ukrainian, and you know they've been told already. That passport say Ukrainian, you let them in.
That's right.
You let them cross that border. You understand? But everybody else got to stay in that line. Look at him pointing at them and checking them. They quietly standing back there. He checking them and all that. While these Ukrainians walk right past them. Look at them walking. Look at them walking right past I.S.U.P.K. You ain't gonna tell me them brothers and sisters ain't pissed off. Look at them two sisters on the left. You not gonna tell me they not pissed the hell off watching these blonde-haired, blue-eyed Edomites walk right past everybody else, right on into the damn country. What you saying is heavy, and what they also don't say is this. They how come I'm getting a brain block on your name? Soccer Ward, Captain Soccer Ward, like you just brought out. You said they get a golden ticket, you understand, to the land of milk and honey. But what they ain't saying is they getting a golden ticket to the land of milk and honey because the golden ticket is they get to step on us. To step on us to come up. Like why? Like they leaving their war-torn countries and their poverty and everything, like you brought out earlier about Ellis Island. Whoever brought that out about Ellis Island, they all come to Ellis Island and was coming here, the Irish and all of them, and coming here and of course starting a new life here and becoming great here. But they ain't saying that why is it they starting a new life here and being successful when they could have started a new life right there in their country.
Right.
Could they start a new life there and be successful? Because here they could be successful because they got blacks and Latinos to use and abuse and to step on and walk over. You understand? Like the whole reason housing was low in America was because you had Mexicans working on your house. You drove up to Home Depot and you got 4 or 5 Mexicans in your pickup truck and you took them back to your house and they worked for so little that you could get all kind of work done. But now you can't do that anymore because they ran them all out of the country. So now you got to pay Edomites to do all the work, and the housing prices done doubled in this country. Done doubled in this country because once again, a piece of that good slave labor got taken away. Right. So that's how they become great in this. They ain't becoming great. I turn on them shows about flipping houses and renovating houses. And then Edomites standing there like, yeah, we're going to do this and do that and do that. And then just sit back and watch for a minute until the workers get in there. And you'll see 10 Mexicans in there with a matching sweatshirt on. For whatever company they working for, they'll be the one renovating the goddamn house. You understand?
If I could, John, they got a video on TikTok where the Mexicans put a roof on a house in 5 hours.
I wouldn't be surprised. They are master worksmen and craftsmen, man. They are masters a Mexican don't do nothing sloppy.
Right.
He don't do a goddamn thing sloppy. Anything he build, grow, manicure, or fix, he doing it right all the time, consistently, and that's why he is hired. That's why you got to hire him for your empire to function. Food prices going through the roof. So-called Whole Foods and all these old high-end food stores, they shelves going empty. Right. But you ain't got them tribes working like that. You understand? And that's really how the empire does great. That's how you leave your war-torn country and you come to the land of milk and honey and live deliciously and rise up. And we are fooled to think that anything has changed since the ancient days. It's still the same. Empires move on other empires, enslave them, rape their women, steal all their resources, and keep them under their foot for as long as they can until something else changes. It goes on. That's how it's always been. America ain't great because of technology. What technology? They ain't great because of inventions or because of great business practices. They great because of guns. That's why they're great. Great because they've been able to incarcerate so many slaves, so much so that they can give haven to so many heathens around the world, man. And that's why we need the Most High, man. We need our faith in the Lord. We need him. We need them angels provoked to speak our argument. Did I finish that verse? Was it finished, Kazak?
There's a little bit more, sir.
Finish that verse. I'm gonna let whoever was trying to come in. Salah.
Kalakan, sir.
I'm eating up all the time with my big mouth. Salah. Go ahead.
Kalakan, sir. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over.
That's what happened to us. We laid our body as the ground and as the street to them to go over. Now you got 100,000 Ukrainians that'll be in here selling crack and everything, popping pills, selling you illegal car body parts. It'll be running every hustle and scam. They'll be running every nursing home and running all kind of government scams. They'll have every little grocery store. They'll be scamming Medicaid, buying fake college degrees so that they can do all kinds of jobs and sit over the top of you. They'll be starting all kind of small businesses in the country. And of course, they'll look to us to be the laborers.
Good luck, sir.
Yes.
Good luck, sir.
Get down, jump in.
Yes, sir. So as the video of the Ukrainians was passing by, and I seen I.S.U.P.K standing on the side, the one thought that came into my mind was this would have been, and we of course in the school we understand how this all play out, but this would have been a great opportunity for Geraldo Rivera or any one of our leaders to come out and say, well, I thought you said all lives matter. Well, this don't look like all lives matter to me. This look like preference to me. Because you said it to the top of your lungs, all lives matter when black people were screaming Black Lives Matter.
Right.
You pushed back saying all lives matter. This does not look like all lives matter. What's going on here?
That's right.
None of them come out.
Listen, that's heavy. That's real quick. That's so heavy what you're saying, because in essence, what they're saying here is Ukrainian lives matter. Look how polite the Border Patrol is. Look how light and look how nice and fresh uniforms and respect. And look at that. Look how they just handing over their passports, no arguments. Everybody got tags and IDs on. You understand? Nobody being abused at this border crossing. You mean if you're Ukrainian?
I'm so like you said, and with Haiti also too. When the president got killed, like that sent that place into a crisis, and America still turned them away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they still get turned away, even though their countries in turmoil. Their countries in, you know what I mean, now into civil war in Haiti right now. And you're turning these people away who are trying to seek asylum. And now you're taking these people in because they're fighting a war. At least they have guns to defend themselves.
Right.
You sending them tanks, you sending them missiles, you sending them everything they need to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Everything they need. You sending billions of dollars across to them. But you ain't sending a dime across to Haiti and these places.
Right. That's why they called them shithole country.
Right. Concept.
That's what they really think.
It's like it, Jim. It's like camera shot. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead. I'm talking.
Come on. And the flip side, if Putin able to flip Zelensky, because they ain't been able to really be in on them negotiations they supposed to be having. But if he flip him, in essence, all that military aid and all that, then went to Russia. All that money that they got over there, it's gonna go to Russia if he flip him. You know what I'm saying? Which would be the ultimate chess move if he do it. If it happen, I don't know if it's gonna happen like that. But if that happened like that, they in essence gave more aid to Putin. He didn't recoup. He gonna recoup everything he lost. You know what I'm saying? So
like they're gonna be paying electric bills and gas bills to Putin for the next 50 years. if Christ don't nuke this whole goddamn place, they're gonna be they're gonna pay Putin every quarter back for every missile and bomb he dropped. They're gonna be paying it right back. They're gonna have the highest utility. He's gonna have them power plants on OT. They're gonna be running 24 hours, 7 days a week. Y'all want some heat up here in Ukraine?
Joe, hold on, Joe.
I'll be in the crib. I get a little comfortable. My back.
And you know some heavy, man. Like you said, Joe. Them Ukrainians ain't gonna miss a beat, man. No. If there was a medical student over there, they gonna streamline them. They gonna come over here. Whatever profession they is, they not gonna miss a beat.
Yeah.
They coming over here, picking up whatever profession they lost, whether it's a doctor or whatever. They gonna put them in a law firm, as a lawyer, whatever. They gonna make sure nothing in their life changes. They have to lift a finger, man. Yep. They won't have to work as hard as our so-called Levite brothers, our I.S.U.P.K brothers, the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, man. And that's why, like, the Lord is letting this happen to show us. He's letting this happen to show. He's putting the evidence in our face, man. Like, now do you see it? Like, because war makes everything clear. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes it crystal clear what's going on. Preferential treatment, man. And they're showing you white supremacy goes across international borders. You know what I'm saying? They gonna try to maintain as long as they can. You understand? So I just want to bring it out, General Salah.
Listen, you right. Dead on. Go ahead, Mashak. Go ahead, Cap.
No, so I was saying, look at the difference in how they would, they treat like you cross any border, any international border. That vetting process is long. Any immigration line you're going through, they're scanning your passport. They ain't just watching it. They're checking all kind of stuff. But you look at how they're treating them so delicately. Meanwhile, they ran through the sister on that Senate floor, and she's supposed to, serve as a justice for them. She going up there to, uphold their constitution, their laws, their way of life, everything like that. But you don't know these people from Adam. You don't know if these passports fake. You don't know who have COVID. You don't know who's the drug dealer, the criminal. But they drop their guards, drop everything that they would put us through. All the scrutiny they would put us through, that thing get totally abandoned. And they just get, just come on through. Just come on in. And that's what the brother was saying here. It hurt him to see that he been down there trying to cross the border for about 2 months. And then you're watching these people, that 2 months. 2 months he trying to cross. Yeah. That would break his spirit, something horrible.
Yeah.
This thing here, you gonna really know for sure that, it's time to be, you gotta look for the Lord now. You have to look for some kind of power to help you, because these people, they don't give a damn about it.
And I want to know if I could, Mashak, that's such a good point, because what I want to know is, how do those Mexican border guards feel that's over there taking them passports and having to let them in? While the Mexican brothers, their own flesh and blood, got to stay in the line, and like you said, wait 2 months. Go back to that part of the tape where he taking a passport from the white boy. Like, those are Mexicans taking them passports on that border.
Yeah,
I want to know, how do they feel with all their brothers? Now, he been waiting 2 months to get it. He's Mexican too. So how do they feel? Yeah, right. Right around there. Like, how do they feel taking their passports from these people and having to let them in the country? Those are brothers right there, in uniform, obeying the master, doing his bidding. Like, how do they feel? There you go. Those are brothers. Those are Mexicans, Issacharites.
Okay.
And they got to they got to hold back their brothers and sisters who waiting out there for months. You see them all wrapped up. Like, go slightly back where he was kneeling, where the cat was kneeling down. Let's go back a little bit more, where he was crouching down talking to the reporter.
I think that
right there. Freeze that if you can. Like, you see, those are, go back one more time. Like, those are Mexicans all wrapped up, trying to cross the border. They living out there for months.
Right.
Then right after, they're going to switch over and show you the Ukrainians. Like they're out there struggling. Look at that. They wrapped up in plastic and everything else, trying to wait to get over across the border. Now look at the Ukrainians. They're combing their hair and preparing to go right on into America.
Constantly.
You know what I mean?
They would probably vet them border guards the same way they vet that sister.
You're right.
They
right.
Sure.
Make sure they don't go ahead.
Salaki. So they make sure they have no identity in them at all.
Yep.
You are just
if I could, sir, it's heavy. This is the clip that we playing now from Al Jazeera television. That's an international news reporting agency. I didn't see any clips of this on Fox News or on CNN. It's as if the entire angle of these people being let across the border while our Hispanic brothers, Israelite brothers are being stuck at the border isn't even talked about in the Western media. And it just goes to show that the Most High is allowing right now for the earth to see who the devil is. He's allowing the earth to see just how much of a plague white supremacy is on the earth. You know what I mean? Like, the Al Jazeera is giving you an interview of a Mexican who's been at the border for 2 months saying, yeah, man, they threatened us with violence and had us in cages, but these people just get to go walk in and this. I mean, what can I do though? I still need to get in the country. Like, the Lord is allowing the earth to see that America isn't really the place that it says it is. Right. America isn't really the place that wants all your huddled masses and all the propaganda that the earth has been given about America. That applies only if you're white, only if you're Caucasian. If you're one of them, then it applies. Or if your country serves them, your country bows to them, then maybe some of your people come over here. But if you are of the Lord's chosen people, this is not how you are going to be received. This is not the land of milk and honey. It's just like you read in the Bible when we went into Egypt. Egypt was not a place that was welcoming everybody with open arms, which is why Joseph said, y'all gonna tell them that y'all sheep herders and you're gonna go into the land that goes where we could be left alone. You understand? It's the same thing in America right now. These people are being allowed to come in because they are what America wants. But what America doesn't want is the Lord's people coming together and thriving and even having any semblance of a place of rest. At every turn, we're going to be oppressed. We're going to be beaten down. They're going to make it hard for us because the Lord wants us to realize that He is the only one that we can depend on.
Salaki, sir, if I may, Commander Yohanna, if I could just piggyback off what Captain Sakawar just said, and this is why I thank the Most High for this truth, because it removes the veil of Christianity, where that Christianity puts a veil over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans' eyes, where that we don't see things for what they are. And the truth in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, like Captain Kahan said earlier, we see now the practicality of gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We've seen how they let the Afghanis come into America. They bring the Ukrainians into America. They sent aid over to Ukraine when they had to fight to give us stimulus checks. It's becoming more and more apparent now what this Bible is saying, if you in the truth. And it's that we are the people not desired. That's what it is. And it's practical for us to come together because everybody's against us. It's a lot of stuff.
You so right. Give it up. That's exactly true. Y'all want to try to squeeze one more story in, or what y'all? We don't went over the time. We could push a little 15, 20 minutes if y'all want.
Come with it.
What else is on the table? Anything else big going on?
So, like the captain, you want to bring that Hampton University one up?
We could rock with that one if you want. We had Hampton University, and then of course them border towns scared. They're getting scared of which country going to be after Ukraine. Yeah, Hampton U, and of course the trans supremacy. Well, I know we did that last week. We could do the Hampton.
What happened out in Hampton? I missed that one.
Yes, sir. If I could, I don't know if because I get the article, but just real quick, right? What happened in Hampton University is that normally Black people, they wanted, because that's a HBCU university, but right. People special on blacks, right? And a lot of brothers and sisters that go there end up with just like with most colleges, end up with student loans that they can't pay or they pay for the rest of their lives. But they decided to select 20 to 50 Ukrainians and give them free tuition.
Come on, man.
Yes.
HBCU
Yes,
for black people
Yes,
is
sir.
now going to give free tuition to the Ukrainians.
Yes, sir. Oh, man, it'll be the article.
That's crazy.
I got it right here.
So, like, which number is it? Which number is it, Ash? I ain't seen it right now.
I don't know if you put it in there, sir, but I got the article up, sir.
I have one with Harvard. Okay, no sweat. Go ahead. Maybe
Okay, so
it's something I could try. Let me see if I can try and pull it too.
All right.
Put this up Harvard as well.
I cannot believe it. Like, you got to give up now. You got to give up your university too. Right now, the one place where you could go and be black at, you're gonna have how many 20
to 50 seats.
20 to 50 seats. And so now you're gonna have an HBCU, a black historical black college, and you're gonna have a Ukrainian subgroup inside the group. In a minute, they'll be running the college. In a minute, they'll be, that'll be it. Then it'll be, why do we have to have partiality? Why do we have to? Let's integrate, and they will integrate black people right out of Hampton University.
And if I could, so the evil of that is to act like a Ukrainian is a minority. Like black people, we've given up so much of our spirit that we can't even hold tight to we the minority in this country. Like we can't even let all Caucasians be Caucasians. We can't let all Asian people be Asian. If you just homebred American, which isn't even a nationality or a racial identity, like we so far gone in this whole joining ourselves to America that we can't even have an historically black college. Because when Russia has the war with Ukraine, we got to open up seats at our colleges for Ukrainians, but we ain't even got enough money to keep the doors open for the black people who paying to go to the school.
Yes. Send them Ukrainians over there to white bread university. What the hell is this?
Yeah, where's Yale? Where's Yale and Stanford?
Yes.
Go to Yale, go to Yale.
And who is the Negro over that college? That's the Negro.
Right.
Oh, you look like you was getting ready to jump right in on it. Go ahead.
Slide you, sir.
That's
like,
my question. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, like sitting here thinking about that, this is going to make the Ukrainians try to put their so-called tragedy on the levels of slavery now.
Yes.
They're going to try to now identify as, you have to now understand my plight as well. You can understand slavery. You got to understand the bombings we went through. We're just the same. That's why we're here, because we've gone through the same type of things. We've been destroyed by people. It's absolutely ridiculous, sir. Like,
if I could raise you one, Captain. Now they won't talk about critical race theory now. But they will talk about critical Ukrainian theory. See, now they're gonna want to talk. See, now they're gonna want to say, you know what, like you said, they gonna come in all like the gentleman brought out earlier. They're gonna come in off of our story, they're gonna use our narrative and our oppression to merge, to start a fusion here about how we need to understand each other. But they won't call it critical race theory. They will talk about sympathy for Ukraine, and this is exactly what the general brought out about us laying our body down, giving our soul over to them. This is exactly what he has said. Exactly what he prophesied. This is what's happening right now.
That's like I said, them 20 to 50 seats should go to Haitians or Mexicans.
Yes.
Should go to them people. That's where it should really go to.
And here's my other question. Are they giving away 20 to 50 seats a year to black people? Like, can a black man go to Hampton University, scholarship paid? Is it 20 people going for free every year of us?
Right. No questions asked. Right.
No questions asked just because you black.
So like I said,
I watched the year too, 1868.
If I could, sir.
Sir.
Jump in, y'all, because my
Yeah,
head
like,
about
sir,
to
just
pop
real
off
quick.
on what Kahan just said. My brain is on fire. Go ahead.
Just real quick, and then you said a heavy point there, sir. In the ghettos, right? Even though a lot of us stuck in the ghettos, but there are bright minds in the ghettos that could, benefit from having a tuition-free scholarship.
You giving them too much. You don't have to have a bright Ukrainian mind. They giving away 20 to 50 seats. Don't care if you a goddamn mutthead.
Yeah.
They giving you a seat. Like Mashak said, no questions asked.
Yeah.
They giving you 20 to 50 seats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's heavy. And that's heavy what you said. Because for us to get in it, we better be worthy in their eyes to get it. Right. We better be somebody who could, benefit from it.
Right.
So like I said,
they don't have to. Go ahead, up.
They're gonna ask if they SAT score. Yeah, all the scores possible. They're gonna ask for it before you step foot in that school.
Go ahead, Mashak.
General, remember at one time they would make us feel guilty for affirmative action.
Yes.
No, you gotta turn. No, you gotta take all this down, and in about 5 years, you gotta start to say you only got that because you was in Afghanistan.
Yes.
You got that because you was Ukrainian. You gotta you're like Arab, what you ever need help. They ain't fighting no wars. Their grandparents didn't bleed for this country. They didn't have to sit on the Senate floor.
They don't even have to get a high school diploma.
They ain't got no high school diploma. They got to watch their sister sit on the Senate floor and get railroaded white man after white man and embarrassed. But now we got to make us feel, embarrassed for affirmative action. Remember reverse racism? That's right.
That was their mantra. That was their mantra. And brother, that means our brothers and sisters got to sit on the sideline while in 1886 university established for black people, 1868 university established for black people, got to turn black people away for Ukrainians.
Right. So like it, General.
Oh my God. Who is in charge of this school? Who is the nigga in
General, if I could, that year is so profound because that's 3 years after the Civil War, during Reconstruction. And all these woken tokens out there, they should have, when they would have said that right there, black people on these, but I'm gonna tell you, it's getting ready to happen. Don't be surprised when them protests start happening at these black colleges for these sellout niggas that's in charge. You understand? They should have told them, so you can go to hell or you can go to Yale, but you ain't coming here. They should have told them that. You're going to get a free ride all of a nigga. 20 seats. You understand? And oh my goodness, man. Boy, we got some house cleaning to do. The Lord about to get this house in order. And they better pray that U.P.K. don't get in power. So
go ahead. It's 50 to 100 seats in the article. So
50 to 100 seats.
If I could, sir, that banner right there says the standard of excellence. So that's like a slap to black people because then you kicking up 100 seats freely to people that you don't know nothing about, except what they say on the news, and they're more excellent than black people, knowing that black people created every invention that's useful on the planet. You mean to tell me these Ukrainians, you're gonna give them priority over your own people? Damn.
So like the dude that's the head of the university is William R. Harvey. He's been the head since 1978. Yeah,
that's him on the screen there now.
88, 98, 2008, 2018. He's been the head of that school for over 40 years. Over 40 years he's been the head of that school. And that nigga bowed down to the goddamn Ukrainians.
Relationship.
Say again, Cuomo.
I was saying, I wonder if there was some relationship to Steve Harvey in some way.
The teeth is looking very familiar. Them teeth looking.
Mustache in the hole, sir.
John.
It would make.
Go ahead, Mashak Salaki.
No, I was just saying it would make sense if he was.
Right. I mean, this is such a tragedy. This is a good story, Ash. Like, this is such a tragedy. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Mashak. My bad. Salaki. You
No, that wasn't so.
Okay, moving on. Crazy. Like this is such a tragedy. And once again, with everything we brought out tonight, there's a theme to be seen. And that theme is that as we rise up in this empire in all aspects, whether it be the Supreme Court, sports, whatever it is, we are always coddled into becoming a sellout against our own. We always being carried, and that's why you need prophets of God, because only prophets of the Lord have the strength to stand up and say what has to be said for the benefit of God's chosen people. Because left to our educated, so-called educated Christian church-going black leaders, they will sell us down the river to death for a seat at the slave master's table, man. I mean, I'm good if y'all good, man. I think that's it for this one, for this episode, man. Hey, this was a great episode, man. Big shout out to Captain Kwame, all coming all the way in from the West Coast. Also, Captain Kahan, all the way from Louisiana. I love this show y'all doing on Saturday night. Bring back full screen again, everybody on the screen, so I can see everybody. We got Captain Sakawa and Officer Tazadakia. G, where you in Memphis, right? Y'all in Memphis, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. You understand? I drove through them Tennessee mountains once. Oh, boy. That was going back about 30 years. It was none but the Hatfield and McCoys living up there that time. You understand? Big shout out to Mashak Mayan, Captain Mashak Mayan, Officer Kazak Ahmad, and Captain Nine Thop, and Captain Ashipam Salaki, if I didn't get the order right, all out of DC, out of the DC camp. Doing it up, man. I hope more captains will come join us, man. That was a good story, Oz, you brought in. Like, the flavor of all the captains is beautiful, man. Again, we want to invite everybody. Please support the UPK. Please send me your tithes, man, so I can take care of these men, man, and take care of these camps and these schools and all the work that we have in front of us, all the traveling and everything that comes up. Support this truth, man. Join us every Monday night. We do it up live. ISUPK.com is the website. Check us out on all upcoming events. Mashak, again, always the waterman for hosting us, man, and holding us down, man. Brothers and sisters, stay strong up in the battle, man. We'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, y'all. Shalom.
Want no cowards in our camp, while the let their colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right. It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the